What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Cinema Sermons. My name is Kevin, and today we're going to go ahead and talk about the movie Nosferatu. Now, I'm not going to really do a traditional review in the sense of giving you my positives, giving you my negatives, mixed, and final rating, right? I'm just going to kind of talk about this movie, and we'll see if that's the direction that things start to head in, because I didn't want to do a real review of it. I just want to talk about this movie. So there will be spoilers ahead. If you have not seen the movie and you don't want it spoiled for you, this might not be it for you. But really, I'm just going to rant about the movie, and I'll tell you before I start to get into spoilers. So first of all, art is subjective, right? And what works for me might not work for you, right? I think Metallica is the greatest band of all time. You might not. So that's, you know, it's subjective, right? It's not objective. It's not, it has to be this way, right? And not everything is for everybody. This movie was certainly not for me, and there's a couple reasons why. So, of course, the movie looks great. It is a well-shot, well-made movie, and I heard someone on YouTube say it. They were like, this movie's much more style over substance, which is the best way to describe this movie. It looks great, the performances are great, all the actors did a wonderful job. They did what they were supposed to do from the director, but the story, man, just really fell flat. I hated the ending, and I get all the symbolism. Symbolism just doesn't work for me. And, you know, it follows this beat plot for plot, and a lot of people will say that you just don't get it. You just don't understand art house films. You don't understand elevated horror, which I would disagree with, but that's just, you know, I'm not gonna fight you on it. You know what I mean? Your opinion is your opinion, you're entitled to it. And from what I got out of this movie, it was a well-polished turd. It looked great, still sucked. And what I mean by that is the narrative that we get is the unlicensed Dracula adaptation from 1922 or whatever it was, and it's a complete remake of that. So if you've seen the 92 Dracula or read the book, which I've done both, you know exactly where this movie is going, right? And it doesn't shock you. It's not like, oh, I didn't see that coming. No, you knew exactly how that was gonna go down, except the ending, right? And I thought the ending was horrible. I thought the ending was trash. I thought the movie was overly sexual for no reason. Now, in the Bram Stoker Dracula, it was very sexual as well, but the sexuality served a purpose. And I might be getting a little bit vulgar in this video, so if you have younger viewers, use discretion. I wouldn't recommend it. But the sexuality in Bram Stoker's Dracula, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, served a purpose, right? And it was really to show that giving in to your lustful, baseful desires is dangerous. Giving into your desire and passion for infidelity is wrong, and it's dangerous, and it will lead to harm. And I get what this movie was trying to say about women's repressed sexuality, especially at that time. I get all of that, dude. I get it. That just doesn't hit home for me. And I can already see in the comments people being like, well, you just don't get it because you're a man. No, because I'm a follower of Christ, I have to repress my own sexuality. The Bible says there must not even be a hint of sexual immorality among you. Jesus said if you even look at a woman lustfully in your eyes, you've committed adultery with her in your heart. So at a time where I can pull out my phone and look at anything I want to, God has not changed his standard whatsoever. And he's like, no, you cannot do that because fornication is sin. Anything sexual outside of marriage is indeed sin. And that's something that I have to repress within myself if I want to be a follower of Jesus Christ. Now, am I always good at that? No, dude, I'm a man, I'm a human being, right? But I think that's why vampires resonate with us so much, because we understand what it's like to have a need, to have a thirst that you can't control. But if you give into that thirst, it's dangerous and it can hurt other people. It can even hurt you too, but it still draws to you. And there is something sensual about vampires and biting on the neck and the exchanging of fluids and that thin line between pleasure and pain and the seduction, and you know you shouldn't, but you really want to. There's something sensual inherently about vampires. So it's not the fact that this movie was sexual. I thought it was sexual without a purpose. And I get what it's trying to say, but it didn't drive the narrative forward at all. And this is where I'm gonna start to get into spoilers. When Lily Rose Depp's character, I don't even remember her name, dude, and I don't care to remember her name. This movie sucked. Ellie or Ellen or whatever her name is, when she's possessed by Orlok, you're never terrified for the character. You're not like, oh my gosh, this poor girl. She just lies there and she's moving all sensually, making pleasure noises. It's weird. It's just weird. And it's not like good weird, right? Robert Eggers is just a weird dude. On the off chance he ends up seeing this, sorry, bud. That's what you get for making weird stuff like this. That's a weird guy. That's a weird dude, and not good weird like Jeff Goldblum weird, bad weird. That's a weird fella. And it's not artistic and elevated. It's weird. It's just weird. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, let's put a naked chick on a horse and have her, you know, ride through town to go kill this vampire. That served no purpose. I don't care what you were trying to visualize. It didn't drive the plot forward. You just wanted a naked chick on a horse. And you could try to go ahead and tell all the art chicks and all the film chicks, so the reason you didn't be like, oh, he understands women. No, ladies, he's full of it. He just wanted a naked chick on a horse. That's what he wanted.
Ain't you never seen a naked chick riding a clam before? Gotta go.
It's just, like I said, it's just overly sexual. It shows Count Orlok's thing swinging for no reason. And I hated that this movie doesn't try to fight the villain. We go to see good triumph over evil, or at least that's what I like. In The Lost Boys, in Bram Stoker's Dracula, and even in that, man, I hated how Winona Ryder's character, Mina, you know, kind of had this love and draw for Dracula, but at least it was like she was the reincarnation of his love, right? This is literally just some chick. And the only way to defeat Count Orlok is she has to sleep with him, give herself over to him, let him sleep with her all night long, and also feed on her blood. So the final ending shot is Jonathan Harker, great value brand Jonathan Harker, walking in and seeing his new bride naked with this dude on top of her, and he knows like they did it and he killed her. Like that's the final shot of the movie. That sucks, dude. You didn't even try to fight, and I don't want to hear any of this crap about like, oh, you're just a misogynist and you don't like strong women or whatever it is, dude. Because I hated Terrifier 1. I hated the first Terrifier. I freaking really enjoy Terrifier 2. And the reason I enjoy Terrifier 2 is because of Sienna Shaw. She has quickly become one of my favorite final girls. If Terrifier 2, or if Terrifier 1 wasn't for you, I encourage you to give Terrifier 2 a shot because it is good versus evil. She takes on this intense evil, you know, the most brutal slasher villain we've ever seen in Art the Clown, and she fights him, dude, and the way she's even covering her baby brother and taking the lashings for him and taking the beating for him, and she gets back up, she keeps fighting, and you know, even when she's scared, she takes it to Art, and we see that carried on in Terrifier 3. She's scared, she's a real human, but she fights to protect Gabby and her brother, and she takes it to Art, she takes it to Vicky. I freaking love Sienna. I think she's one of the greatest final girls of all time, and that should be a symbol of feminist empowerment, not, ooh, I'm just gonna go ahead and sit here and rub myself and then bang this dead guy. And again, it's just overly sexual for no reason. When Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, Heinrich, whatever, it's a stupid movie and stupid names. After his family dies, he goes into the crypt and he lays with his wife in the biblical sense after she's dead. Like, what the heck is that? That did not drive the plot forward whatsoever. It was shocking for the value of being shocking, and you know, what's the deeper meaning here? There is no deeper meaning. He banged a dead body. That's disgusting. And then while his dead kids are in the room. That's disgusting, and Robert Eggers put it in a movie. That's a weird guy. I'm calling it. That's a weird dude. Not good weird like Jeff Goldblum. I'm talking like Futurama couch kind of weird. That's a weird guy.
I trust the orgy pit has been scraped and buttered.
You know it.
Not in a good way. You know, people will just say, well, it's just art. It's elevated. You don't understand. No, man, some things are just freaking weird. And that's one of the things that's just weird. The movie was overly sexual for no reason. It was very thin on plot. It was all style and no substance. It was great performances, but the performances that they had to give were weird. If Lily Rose Depp just sits there rubbing herself and moaning the whole time, we do get an intimate scene, and it's weird. It starts with her saying, you can never please me like he did. What it seemed to me is like, it's saying like, you know, you'll always gravitate toward what you really want. right? You got the husband who's trying to have a good job, but he's not fulfilling your needs. Count Orlok can fulfill your needs. It seemed like it was encouraging infidelity, dude, and because that's empowering nowadays, right? Don't stay loyal. Go ahead and do what you want. The Notebook encourages that. Titanic encourages that. It's not about who you're engaged to and what your commitments are. Follow your heart. What do you really want? Which, what does the Bible say? Do not trust the human heart. For the human heart, above all things, is deceitful. Who can know it? Above all things, it is deceitful. And above all else, guard your heart, for from it flows everything else. So I didn't like this movie, man. I thought it sucked. Everyone else is kissing its butt, saying how amazing it was. I totally disagree. I think this movie was a polished turd. It was a complete letdown, and people throw around the term masterpiece, right? And again, art is subjective. For somebody, this might be a masterpiece. For me, definitely not, dude. So maybe instead of doing these full-on reviews of my positives, my negatives, and just trying to, you know, be, you know, like Sean Chandler and Cody Leach, I love those guys. Those are my go-to movie review guys. Maybe I'll just start talking about movies, man, because this didn't feel like I had to do it this time. I just wanted to tell you guys. I needed to talk to somebody about why Nosferatu sucked. And if you disagree, go ahead and do so respectfully, just down in the comments. Let me know why you disagree, but don't just be like, you don't get it. No, give me some substance. Why is this movie a masterpiece other than the visuals and the acting? What about the story, right? And I thought this movie sucked. I don't get why everybody's kissing Robert Eggers' butt. I think he's a weird filmmaker. And if that's your style, man, that's your style. Everybody's gonna have different tastes. Anyway, dude, that's my rant over. Nosferatu sucked. Let me know what you guys think down below. Gosh, I'm gonna get torn apart in the comments. I can already see the raging film chicks being like, you just don't get it. It's about female sexuality, man. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought. Please leave a comment. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It helps out the channel tremendously. And remember, I love you. Jesus loves you. That's our story, and we're sticking to it. See you guys.